This is the Pardo GT52 on a beautiful sunny day in Southampton, if you regard liquid sunshine as the real deal. But this is a brand new boat. It was launched yesterday, in fact, by Argo Yachting, and they've invited me out to take a look at it. And it's actually a really cool boat. So I thought, despite the weather, we definitely ought to take you guys on board of this one. So we're going to step on here. We've got the high-low platform for the tender at the back. You can also see that little silver fellow there is the ladder for getting in and out of the water. And then we'll step on here. Now, in all fairness, it's covered up at the back, and I don't blame them for that, because as I say, it is as new can be, and they want to keep it all nice. So a lot of the upholstery is put inside, and what isn't is underneath here. But I'll show you what's here. Well, first of all, there is a bimini that rolls out of the trailing edge of the roof there. So that's a retractable bimini. And then this one here, now we're under it, I'll just take my stolen Argo Yachting umbrella down, and I'll show you. Oh, one-handed, hang on. There we go. That was elegant, wasn't it? I'll show you as well, actually, just while we're here, that we've got a shower down here, we've got the stereo speakers here as well. And then what we've got here is seating in a big horseshoe and a table. And if I show you underneath here, it'll make more sense. There's the table. There's infill cushions to make this into sunbathing. And you can see the seating that goes around there, and there's backrests that then come up all the way around. I'll see if I can insert a photograph of that erect to show you what it does. Likewise, there's cushions that go on these fellows here as well, so that you can have seating facing it, which is rather nice. And there's storage in here as well. There we go. And you can have fridges down inside these trailing edges if you wish to. But I think we'll head inside to the dry first of all, shall we? Take it from there. Now, interestingly, there are two layouts for this boat. This one is the galley down layout, which you'll see in a minute, but you can have the galley here instead. It sort of goes in and around, and then obviously you have the seating over on this side as we've got at the minute. This one's got the seating on both sides, which I think is a much more sociable arrangement. And we've got a TV, of course, that rises out from here. But the other neat trick is that this is height adjustable, so this can be brought down level with this one. The backrest then, obviously, as you can see it at the minute, then gives you seating all the way around in an L shape, but with it raised up you can move that backrest the other way. Hang on, there we go, and that then gives you a helm seat. I like the forward sloping windscreen, that works very well. Big opening sunroof on this one as well, so you can get a lot of air and light into here. You've got the opening windows on the side as well, so you can really open this area out. These are blinds that come across, so that one comes across thusly, and then on the other side we have a bug screen, I believe. I haven't actually checked. Yeah, there we go, usual sort of thing. And there's blinds, of course, that come down over these windows as well. Here at the helm, they've got a single screen on this, but it looks big enough that you could fit two if you wanted to, which I think would be a good idea, because you've got the operating system on here. So this is showing us things like the climate control, lighting is on here, exterior lights, all that kind of stuff is all configured from there. We can see the water tank level there at 0% because it's brand new, of course. Battery voltage, we've only got the service battery on the minute, we haven't got the engine batteries on because we're not starting the engines. So that's all on there, but also on there, of course, then is things like navigation and so forth. Fuel is on here as well. And there's probably engine instrumentation on here somewhere, I suspect. Yeah, if we hit engine, there it is. So yeah, a pair of screens I think would be quite useful. Bow thruster is on here. That is actually an anchor chain. Up and down, or anchor up and down, it's obviously on a chain. That is the control for the screen, so you have to lean over and lunge at it when you're operating it. And then operating buttons down here, hard buttons for things like lighting and wipers and all that sort of thing, so they're right at your fingertips. Engine controls are on this side, but also joystick control. This one's got IPS, so we have the IPS joystick there as well. And there is a Fusion stereo tucked away underneath there. There we go, and VHF radio underneath. And the compass is up underneath the overhang, which is rather neat. I like this roof with the way they put this wood into here. It's a very light and contemporary boat, actually. There's very much a bit of a sort of beach house vibe to it, I think. What else can I show you? Let's head on down. This is really interesting. We'll come back to that when we come back up. This is the galley down, and this is a really good size galley by putting it down here. It's bigger, I suspect, than you would get if you had it on the main deck. If you have the galley up, what you have here is a settee, so it gives you like a lower lounge area, I suppose. Usual kind of stuff. We've got the fridge there, of course. We've got big drawers in here. Sink is tucked away underneath that one. Hob here as well. And then storage. Cutlery drawer. And there's also a microwave. That's tucked away up over in that corner. And then that is just a bit more, where's it gone? Oh, there we are. It's a little release catch underneath there for opening those. There we are. Let's head this way next, actually. Now, these are the foredeck cushions for very obvious reasons they're in here, and those are the cushions that are on those seats I showed you in the cockpit that face aft. When they're not there, and they're outside, then of course you've got a bed here and another bed tucked in behind that one, and you've also got storage in here, so shelving, hanging locker, and so on. Normally you'd leave these on and just put covers over them, but because the boat is so very brand new, they're obviously being very protective of that and keeping those absolutely box fresh by keeping them in here, which is very, very sensible. We have got day heads is here, decent shower in there as well. Look at that. I like the way it's illuminated. That's a good size, and the sink, of course, and the loo. So that's day heads. Obviously that will get used by this cabin as well at night, and then the owner's cabin is up here, which is a pretty good size for a 52-foot boat. It's full beam, albeit you're further forward in the boat where it's a little bit narrower, but nonetheless still a very good sized cabin. Look at that. That is excellent. Sort of tuck yourself away with a good book. You knew that was coming, didn't you? And then again you've got, yeah, wardrobes. I like the fact that they're starting to go away from these push catches. You know, the ones where you have to ping and then the thing comes out and then you open it and then you close it and then you push it back in again. With that you just touch that and it opens, and when you close it you don't have to touch anything because it just clicks shut. And it's about time we started to move on from the push catches. They've had their day. They've had a good run. Let's move on. And the ensuite then is forward. What they've done with this, because the bow on these is a sort of vertical, in fact I think it's a slight reverse shear bow, which means that rather than cutting back underneath, it's much more upright at the front, and what that gives is space for this. A head's right up at the head, where traditionally it's supposed to be. Again, you've got your ensuite shower there, of course. This is access up onto the deck, and you can see the rain, so we'll pretend that's not going on out there. And then, of course, the loo, the sink, the mirror wave, and a bit of storage over there. It's nice though, isn't it? It's a nice position for that. I think that works really well, because as it gets narrower, of course, you've got less space, but you need less space there. And then in the wider part of this area, you've got this, which is a really decent cabin. I approve of that. That TV, I'm going to guess, is on a bracket that swings out. Wouldn't be much good otherwise, would it? Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. There we go. Marvellous. Now, there's a little secret area to show you. These traps in the floor, incidentally, are just service area access. So, for example, that one there, if we lift it up and I prop it with my knee, then I can show you that in here we've got access to some of the plumbing, for example. So that's what that is doing. It's getting you into spaces like that. There we go. Interestingly creak-free, considering all these traps are here. That's not bad at all, is it? These normally creak like anything. I was going to say something else then. We've got breakers here. This is your battery stuff, so your 24 volt, and then you've got your 240 volt down here, just below it. I like all this little illumination they put in places like this, and that's got a little slide over it. Oh, look at that! It's got a little light that comes on when you open it. Oh, that's cute, isn't it? There we are, it's all in the details. Good, now, there's another hidden area. Any guesses where it is? It's here. Check this out. Let's move these out of the way. And lift that one up. Oh, there we go. And that should stay there. And then we'll see if we can find a light switch. There we go. And I'll take you down to here. So what this is really, it's a storage space, it's somewhere to tuck your gear away, but it's also an occasional overflow cabin. It's not, I guess you could call it a crew cabin, but it's not really. It's not a crew boat, this one. It's more of an owner-operator boat. But if you want just a little bit more space, you want a den for teenagers, you want somewhere for your daughter's boyfriend, well, then this will give you that. But as I say, I suspect that 99% of owners will use it as storage for 99% of the time. But you know, it's all here. There's a little bit of hanging locker in here. There's air conditioning in here. There's lighting in here, of course. There's ventilation through this window. It's a usable space. You probably wouldn't want to spend all week down here. That one there is a little, hang on. How can I open that? Oh, hang on. Here we go. No, we don't. What I'm doing. There we are. Little sink, and that's for your soap. Fantastic. Oh, I need to push that. There we are. Intriguing, isn't it? Okay, let's come back up out of here. We're going to take a look at the engine space, and then we're going to take a fairly swift tour around the decks in the rain. I like this. I love this floor. I think that's great. Let's pop this one back down. There we go. It's easier with two hands. Oh, hang on. That's it. But it's doable with one. You can have that table height adjustable. This one isn't, but you can have it if you want to. And there's little bits of storage around the place like this as well, which is rather nifty. And in here too, actually. There we go. Ideal for bottles. Right, let's go and brave the outside. My shoes on. Definitely need those today. Actually, engine room. We're going to do engine room first, won't we? Come on, keep it together, Burnham. There we are. So that one opens thusly, and then you can spin round and head on down. This is actually a pretty spacious engine room for a 52-foot boat. Look at this. Check that out. That's pretty decent, isn't it? I mentioned it was IPS, so you can see the top of the pods back here. What they've done is put the engines further forward on jack shafts. So normally the engines are right in front of these pods. They've used these to bring the engines up to here, and it just brings the weight further forward, because there's a lot of weight in these engines, as you can imagine, and makes for a more balanced boat. Top speed on this one is about 32 knots, cruising therefore 20 to 25, with a range of about 300 miles. As ever, very low speed, you'll get a lot further, but that's your sort of 20 knot cruising speed. Generator is down here as well, that lives up there. You see what I mean about the space though, can't you? Fuel tanks outboard. I like the fact they've put sight gauges on these fuel tanks, so you can see how much fuel is in there via those sight gauges. Obviously you've got fuel gauges as well, but just as a backup, just to make absolutely sure you know what you've got, that is not a bad idea at all. Yeah, it's excellent, isn't it? Very, very good. Right, let's come out of here, and we'll. That was a bit close, isn't it? Sorry. Rather sudden. Hope it's not too early in the morning for you. Let's come back up and go and have a look around the outside. There's a sliding door across here. So this one here is, there we are, comes across like that. It's a nice lock up and leave boat actually, because you've got that cover. Let's put that back down and give it a twist like we did last summer. You've got a cover that goes over here. You slide that door shut and you're pretty much done. Right, let's head round the outside. Do you know, I think it's stopped raining. It has stopped raining. Look at that, that's fantastic, isn't it? Okay, let's come up here, up onto the bow. I love this kind of flush deck look, that's fabulous. And then you've got these rails that go around on the outside, of course. I've seen these boats without these rails. A lot of people choose not to have them, but obviously it does make a certain amount of sense. Big flat foredeck up here. The anchor is down underneath here, and this, if you look at the boat next door, is what I mean about the sort of vertical bow. In fact, it's almost sort of like a reversed rake. You see that cut out there? That is for the anchor to come out, and this boat does exactly the same. So if you look right over the front, we'll see it's a very flush bow. There we go. I'm not going any further. There we go. But if we spin on round, that's a cool looking boat, isn't it? Excellent. Right, well, before that music knocks out my copyright claim, I will say massive thanks to Argo Yachting for organising that tour. That's been really interesting. And massive thanks as ever to you guys for watching. I think that's a fascinating boat. I'd be interested to hear your comments on it, and we'll look forward to catching you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.